Okay, let's talk about something we've probably all been through. You're on a weight loss journey, everything's going great, and then bam, nothing. The scale just stops moving. Well, today we're going to dig into the fascinating biology of exactly why that happens.
Man, it hits the nail on the head, right? That feeling of hitting a wall, it is so demotivating. You start questioning everything, even though you know you haven't changed a thing. But here's the crazy thought. What if I told you that moment of frustration is actually a sign of success? Yeah, you heard me right. The weight loss plateau, it's not you failing. Not at all. It's your body succeeding at its absolute number one job, keeping you alive. So let's completely reframe this whole thing. This isn't a roadblock, it's a biological success story. Okay, so to really get why the plateau happens, we first have to talk about your metabolism. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a daily energy budget for your body. So, where does all that energy go? Let's take a look.
All right, the big fancy term for this is total daily energy expenditure, or you'll just hear it called TDE. This is the calories outside of that classic calories in, calories out equation. It's basically the grand total of all the energy you burn every single day. And it's made up of a few different things.
So this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how that budget is spent. See that huge chunk for BMR? That's your basal metabolic rate. That's the energy you burn just being alive. Keeping your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your brain thinking. And it is a whopping 65% of your total daily burn. Now, look at the slice for actual exercise. It's tiny, right? Often just 5%.
And this really drives home a crucial point. Look, going to the gym is amazing for your health. Don't get me wrong, but the actual calories you burn in that workout, it's just a tiny piece of the whole puzzle. The real metabolic action is happening behind the scenes, all day, every day.
So if your workout isn't the biggest driver, what is causing your metabolism to slow down and hit that plateau? Well, this brings us to the core of it all, a process called metabolic adaptation. Think of it like your body's ancient survival code kicking into gear. It's a super frustrating question, right? Like, why would your body actively fight against what you're trying to do? Well, the answer is pretty wild, and it's buried deep in our evolutionary past. Here's the thing. To your body, a diet looks exactly like a famine. It has no clue you've got a grocery store packed with food right down the street. All it knows is, whoa, energy is getting scarce. Its prime directive, its number one job, is to conserve fuel to survive what it thinks is a major threat. It's not being stubborn, it's actually being incredibly smart. And it has this really clever three-part strategy to fight back. First, your muscles get way more fuel efficient, so they burn less energy for the same amount of work. Second, you subconsciously start to move less. You might fidget less, you might pace less. That's your NEAT, your non-exercise activity, going down. And third, your hormones shift to crank up your hunger. See, your body is trying to close that energy gap from both sides. And on top of all of that biological stuff, there's also just simple physics. As you lose weight, you are literally a smaller person. And it just takes less energy, less fuel, to move a 180-pound body than it does to move a 200-pound body. So your metabolism naturally dials down a bit simply because there's less of you to keep running. Okay, so you've got this metabolic adaptation happening, and you've got the simple physics of being a lighter person. Now let's put those two things together, because this is the big aha moment. This is where you'll see exactly how these factors completely change the weight loss math. All right, check this out. On the left, that's you at the start. Maybe your body needed, say, 2,500 calories a day just to maintain your weight. You start eating 2,000 calories, and boom, you've got that perfect 500-calorie deficit. But now, look at the right. After a few months of losing weight and your body adapting, your new maintenance level, it's dropped. It's dropped all the way down to 2,000 calories. You're still eating the exact same 2,000 calories. But guess what? It's not a deficit anymore. You're now eating the exact amount your body needs to maintain your new lower weight. The math has completely changed. That plateau, it's not a mystery. It's just a new balance point. It's equilibrium. So what do you do now? Are you just stuck forever? No, absolutely not. In fact, understanding why this is happening is the key to figuring out how to break through it. Your body adapted, right? Well, now it's your turn to adapt your strategy. and just trying harder, even less, doing tons more cardio, that can sometimes just make the adaptation even worse. Your body has already figured out your old plan. It's adapted to that stimulus. To get the scale moving again, you need to give it a new one.
So let's talk about 3 powerful, science-backed ways you can do exactly that. You can build muscle to fire up your metabolism. You can take a strategic diet break to kind of reset your system. Or you can just do the simple thing and recalculate your numbers based on where you are now. Okay, strategy number 1, build muscle. This is probably the most powerful long-term play. Why? Because muscle is what we call metabolically active tissue. It burns calories just sitting there. So by adding muscle, you are literally making that huge BMR slice of your energy budget bigger. You're basically stoking your own metabolic furnace.
Now, this next strategy might sound kind of crazy, but it is brilliant. It's called a diet break. You actually go back to eating at your new maintenance calories, not a surplus, just maintenance, for a week or 2. This sends a signal to your body that the famine is over, and that can help your hormones normalize, lower your stress, and basically get your body ready to start losing again when you go back to a deficit.
And really, this brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. A plateau, it is not a dead end. It's not a wall. It's a negotiation. It's a message from your body. It's basically saying, hey, I've adapted to what we were doing. It was great. Now, what's our next move? So instead of getting frustrated, you can actually feel empowered by this. Your body did its job perfectly, and now it's your turn to make the next smart move. So the question stops being, why am I stuck? And it becomes, okay, what's my new stimulus going to be?